The 5 vocabulary words that I chose from the reading of Edward Tulane in chapters 10 through 13 this week were consumption, rancid, bewitched, garb, and skivvy. And the reason that I chose those 5 words is because they're a little more difficult to understand. Consumption is more of a common word, but the other 4 words aren't words that you would typically hear in an everyday conversation. And being honest, some of them were a little difficult for me to understand, even using context clues. So I can only imagine how difficult they would be for my middle school students. So this is how a vocabulary card is set up. You've got the word in the top left corner, the definition in the top right corner, the definition in my own words in the bottom left corner, and a synonym and the word used in a sentence in the bottom right corner. And in the center is an illustration of that word to help you remember what it means. So for consumption means the using up of a resource, and in my own words is using something until it's gone. A synonym is draining, and used in a sentence, our consumption of water is causing major issues on our water supply. And the illustration in the center is little raindrops. Rancid means smelling or tasting unpleasant as a result of being old and stale. In my own words, is having a horrible smell or taste due to being outdated. Synonym is spoiled. In a sentence, the butter had turned rancid after sitting out too long. And the center illustration is stinky cheese. Bewitched means enchanted and delighted, or to cast a spell on someone. In my own words is to put in a trance. Synonym is mesmerized, and used in a sentence, she was bewitched by the beauty of the northern lights. In the center is a magic wand. Garb is clothing or dress, especially of a distinctive kind. In my own words, it's clothing that is unusual clothing attire. Synonym is attire, and used in a sentence, the new student wore traditional garb from his country of India. The center illustration is a t-shirt with a sash. Garb is something that you wouldn't typically see worn in your area. Skivvy is a female servant that does work that is dirty and unpleasant. In my own words, it's a woman who does dirty and unpleasant work that others don't want to do. Synonym is maid, and used in a sentence, she refused to work as a skivvy for the demanding household. And the center picture is a pumpkin carriage to symbolize Cinderella. You can use vocabulary cards in social studies, as I plan to do in my social studies classroom, to help students understand difficult words within the text. Now, in social studies, you have a lot of more complex documents and pamphlets and text that these students may not be able to recognize some of the words that are used. So to be able to use vocabulary word cards would help them understand that word and how it's used in context. So I can utilize these cards in social studies for those difficult words. To extend the vocabulary cards, students can write the antonyms of these words. They can make more personal connection to the words, so it's not just using it in a sentence, but how that word has been used in your life, or how you can connect it to something that's happened in your life. And for remediation, you can go ahead and give them the word along with the definition, and they just write the sentence. You would scaffold it a little bit more and help them understand the meaning of the word. But you can also color coordinate it like I did. I am a visual learner, and I can make connections through color coordination. So for the word, I did light blue, definition in red, my definition in green, and the sentence and synonym in orange. And your illustration is whatever color you want to use. But this is how I remember the information, where it's at on the card, and how it can be utilized in my own learning.